Welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Hawkeye. The series begins with Kate Bishop, who was a young girl during the original Avengers movie and had a front row seat to the Battle of New York. And her great view was of a specific Avenger. It's Hawkeye. Yes, Clint Barton, expert archer, no superpowers, but still kicking alien butt with just a bow and arrow. Kate's dad died in the attack, so she dedicates her life to being a superhero too. So now in the present, she's all grown up and has become an expert archer with a penchant for getting into trouble. So Kate comes home for Christmas. Her family is stinking rich, by the way. Her mom's new fiance is Jack Duquesne, who seems like a really nice guy, but Kate doesn't trust him. And later, Kate overhears her mom having a big argument with Jack's uncle Armand. So she does some investigating and finds the super secret VIP part of the party. It's an auction for these really rich guys to buy questionably legal things. And they have some items salvaged from the destroyed Avengers compound, like the sword that Hawkeye used during the blip when he was Ronin. Jack is a huge sword collector, so that's what he's here for. But someone else is busting in. Now the Ronin ninja suit is there too, so Kate puts it on to hide her identity while she beats up some bad guys. As she's leaving, she saves a random dog that got involved, takes it back to her apartment, and feeds it the only food she has, leftover pizza, so this becomes Pizza Dog. Meanwhile, also in New York for the holidays is Hawkeye, Clint Barton. He's here on vacation with his kids. They're seeing the new Steve Rogers musical, which is absolutely hilarious. But when he sees someone's running around in his old Ronin suit, he's gotta put a stop to that. So he captures this imposter, but is very surprised to find it's a random young girl. And Kate Bishop is very surprised to find her favorite hero, Hawkeye. Kate's like, oh my god, I'm an archer too. Take me under your wing. I can be your sidekick. But Clint's like, yo kid, I'm on vacation. Just give me that suit back. But the tracksuit mafia tracked Kate down, so Clint's gotta help her fight him off. So in the morning, he sends his kids home. Daddy's got some business to take care of, but I promise I'll be home for Christmas. Kate's like, all right, now it's time to team up. But Clint's like, no kid, stay out of this. I'm just gonna get the suit, clear your name, and go home. Long story short, the Ronin suit's now been picked up by a firefighter who's into LARPing. Yes, live action roleplay. So Hawkeye's gotta fight him in a trial by combat to get the suit back. Then he lets himself get captured and explains Kate Bishop is not the real Ronin. I don't even know her. But just then, Kate saw he was in trouble and busts in to rescue him. Yeah, sure looks like you know each other. Now this tracksuit mafia is a hilarious bunch of bros. They're not very threatening, mostly just funny. But their leader's not funny. She means business. It's Maya. Maya is deaf and has a prosthetic leg, but she trained her whole life and is a top-tier fighter. And she was there one night when Ronin massacred a bunch of the tracksuits, including her father, who may have been a criminal but seemed like a real great dad, and that's why she wants revenge on Ronin. So she questions Clint with the help of this hot Jon Snow-looking guy. It's her translator and cousin, Kazi. He tries to explain that Ronin's already dead, you know, metaphorically, but she's not buying it, so Clint's got to escape, and they have a big fight where she knocks his hearing aid out. Yes, earlier Clint explained that he's mostly lost his hearing from a lifetime of being too close to explosions, so he and Kate escape in an epic car chase scene where he can't hear her. While he drives, Kate gets to use Hawkeye's awesome trick arrows, but they're not labeled, so it's a hilarious scene as Kate has no idea what's gonna happen when she fires. They end up on the bridge where Hawkeye's like, yo, fire a normal arrow up in the air, then he shoots with a Pym particle arrow. Oh, boom! Giant arrow! Blam! So now that they've had an awesome archer team up, Hawkeye admits this girl's kinda cool. He gets a new hearing aid, and Kate fills him in on her side of a potentially related conspiracy. The night of the auction, Kate went to investigate Armand and found him murdered with a sword. She obviously suspects her mom's sword-loving fiance Jack, who is a master fencer. So she and Clint go to investigate, but find Jack waiting for him. In fact, Kate's mom is home too, and is pretty surprised to find her daughter hanging out with an Avenger. Eventually, though, they find out that Jack owns the shell corporation for the tracksuit mafia, so conspiracy's cleared up, he's going to jail. Meanwhile, there's more bad news. Turns out what the tracksuits were originally trying to steal from the auction was a watch. Apparently, that watch holds a secret to a retired S.H.I.E.L.D. agent's secret identity, so Clint can't leave town till he gets it back. He's sad he's missing all the pre-Christmas festivities with his family, so Kate cheers him up. They have their own Christmas party. These two continue to become new best friends. He teaches her the trick of how to flick a coin real good. But there's sad times too. Clint is still grieving the loss of his best friend Natasha, Black Widow. The next night it's time to steal this watch back, but it's Maya who had it. She and Kate fight, and just then Clint's attacked by some random new girl. They have a big four-way fight. What's going on? Turns out this new fighter is Yelena, Black Widow's sister. She's a main character, of course, in the Black Widow movie, and you don't really need to know it, but she's really funny and cool. But now Hawkeye's like, hey, if someone hired a Black Widow assassin, this has gotten too dangerous. You're fired, kid. Go home. But at her home, she finds Yelena waiting for her. These two have a hilarious girls chat, eating mac and cheese, kind of instantly become best friends. But it's awkward because Yelena is here to kill Hawkeye. Yeah, she really wants Clint dead because she thinks he killed her sister Natasha, but also, conveniently, someone did just hire her to assassinate Clint. But Kate's like, look, you got it all wrong. Clint's a great guy, and he and Natasha were best friends. Whoever hired you, look into them. And now Clint has to end this and get home to his family, so he arranges a meeting with Maya and shows up in the Ronin suit. They have their epic final fight, but it is Ronin who wins. He reveals his identity, and it's like, hey girl, sorry about your dad. I don't kill people normally, I was lost back then. But he drops another truth bomb on her. He wasn't there randomly, he was tipped off by her boss. Now Maya doesn't want to hear it. She trips him up and almost kills him, but luckily Kate followed him against his orders, and these two are best friends and partners again. Now who is this mysterious top crime boss? Hawkeye's mentioned him a few times this season. We gotta hope the big guy doesn't get involved. Apparently it's Maya's uncle, and we've been teased with a distinctively familiar hand and grunt. And now all the bombshells are dropping at once because Yelena found out who hired her. It was Kate's mom. And who's this guy in the picture with her? That's him. That's the guy I'm worried about. It's Kingpin! He's a massive villain from the comics, of course, and most recently in the Netflix Daredevil show. We'll find out just how much of that story they're actually bringing back, but it is the same actor, which is fantastic because his Kingpin is iconic. So Kate's mom has been working for him for years. It was her who killed Armand and then had to frame her fiancé Jack. But now she's like, hey, my daughter Kate is getting mixed up in this. I can't have her hurt, I quit. But you don't just quit on the Kingpin. Meanwhile, Maya now knows it was her uncle who set up her father to be killed by Ronin. So she goes to see her Uncle Wilson, who is hilariously wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I assume he's got a luau Christmas party later. She pretends everything's fine, and Fisk really seems to love his niece. But he knows she knows. It's like, I gotta kill so many people now. So at the fancy Christmas party, Kate confronts her mom, but Kazi's here to assassinate Clint, and Yelena's here to assassinate Clint too. Kate jumps in the elevator with her, and they have a funny best friends non-fight as Kate's gotta stop her from killing her mentor. The entire tracksuit mafia arrives, a battalion of bros. But now Jack is here too. Really was just a good guy and gets to put his sword skills to use. The shenanigans continue. Clint ends up in a Christmas tree, which Kate's gotta knock over. Wow. And now it's time for their final stand, where Hawkeye brought his new super suit. Yes, all season, Kate's been saying he needs a more recognizable costume, and now with help from their LARPer friends, he's in his classic comic purple. So it's Kate Bishop and Clint Barton, Team Hawkeye, for the epic archery battle. They got a ton of really fun trick arrows, culminating with another Pym particle arrow that, wow, shrinks the truck. I hope that's gonna wear off. Then it's time for some 1v1s. Yelena still really wants to kill Clint to avenge her sister, but finally at the end she accepts the truth that Natasha sacrificed herself, and so these two are friends. Maya fights her cousin Kazi. These two love each other. They don't want to kill each other, but she has to. Then Kate's mom, door ripped right off the hinges. Kingpin's like, I don't accept your resignation. Kate's here to protect her mother, but either Kingpin's wearing a bulletproof Hawaiian shirt or he's just that tough. Yeah, this dude is really strong. It's like, yo kid, don't make me kill you. But Kate's not giving up. She does the flick trick with one of his cufflinks to hit her trick arrows and boom, explodes him. Even that though, he walks right off, but now he's confronted by Maya. It's like, hey niece, sorry about your dad. I love my family, but it was just business. It'd be crazy to kill him right after bringing him back, but even he can't survive a bullet to the face. Or can he? So this whole mess is cleared up as Kate's mom goes to jail and Christmas is saved. And most importantly, Clint makes it home to his family for Christmas Day. In fact, he brings Kate with him and the dog, who they've now named Lucky. The mysterious watch, turns out, reveals the identity of Clint's wife, who was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent back in the day. Wow! And so Hawkeye, Clint Barton, has found his new best friend and protege, Kate Bishop, to potentially one day take up his mantle. And that's where Hawkeye comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies. And if you loved this recap, check out the join button and support the channel as a member.